Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And as you could already tell from the title, we are actually going to be building another base game only home. And it is going to be for a family with at least 3 generations under one roof. As you guys can see as well from the channel, my Generations family home was one of my most popular videos for some reason. I'm really not sure, but it happened, and I thought it would be kind of a cool idea to take that same concept of having a couple of different generations under one roof, but just using base game. And I thought it would be a little bit of a unique challenge considering our restrictions with base game and just having to make honestly a bigger home and thinking of different personalities and kind of decorating all the bedrooms differently. It seemed like a really cool challenge to take on. So I came up with this, and this was kind of a design choice on the front that I've been trying to do in a home for so long. And it's basically just to have one of these smokestacks. I think I actually end up putting 2 for this build, but having one of them right in the front and then having windows on each side. I don't know if it's a particular architectural style or if there's a name for that in particular. I have no idea, but I've wanted to do that for a while because I really liked how a lot of homes looked with that piece. I don't really know how to explain it. It's so odd, but I really liked what I ended up coming up with. However, we do change the color scheme off camera because I was playing around with colors a lot here. I kind of wanted to go with this blue and then the orange wood with the white flower boxes. However, I really wanted windows with shutters, especially in the front right next to the smokestack there, or the chimney. I don't really know if there's an appropriate name for it aside from chimney and or smokestack. I don't know if there's another name I'm not thinking of, but I don't know. I had done a blue house recently. I think it was one of the base game starters that I did, and I kind of did this color combination, so I wanted to mix it up just a little tiny bit. I think I end up going with actually a white siding, which doesn't really seem like I'm mixing it up at all, but I used this kind of cream color for the wood on the shutters for the windows, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. I don't know, it doesn't pop as much by any means because I think that the white on the blue siding pops a lot, but I just really liked the color combination. It kind of muted it a little bit though, and it felt a little bit more cozy to me. I don't know, it didn't have as much life to it, which I was kind of okay with. But as you can see, we're working out the landscaping, seeing if we're going to be using a fence in the front yard, which I don't end up doing. I even played around with exactly where the home would be situated on the slot, but this is me starting to play around with color, but that was the actual wood swatch that I end up using. So you guys will see it in the finished product because I don't really show it, I don't think, on the front. You'll probably see it in the back when we get to the backyard too, but it was done off camera, so just a heads up. I played around with this build a lot before I decided on something, and now we're already on to the exterior where we are trying to figure out the floor plan, and I am so pleased with this floor plan. It's a little wonky in a few places, but my goal was to, of course, have everything that you would typically see, at least in a US home. You would have like a family room and the kitchen and maybe a dining room downstairs, as well as a bathroom. Now, the only catch is I wanted to ensure that I put the grandparents' bedroom downstairs because in my Generations family home, I had, I think, all of the adult bedrooms upstairs and there was a kid bedroom downstairs. So if we're thinking of elders, you might want them on the first floor so they don't have to go up and down the stairs all the time. You know what I mean? That is definitely not something that I want elders to do. It doesn't seem very safe. And therefore, I wanted to ensure that I had a bedroom on the first floor. And I was able to do that, which I was so excited about. I was also able to give them a bit of an ensuite bathroom, but here's where the weird catch is. It is the only bathroom on the first floor, and I didn't even realize it until I was done with the build. So that kind of stinks because if your Sims do want to use that bathroom, they have to go through the grandparents' bedroom to get to it. It's not the end of the world because there are 2 more bathrooms upstairs, and one of them actually is an ensuite to the parents' bedroom. So there's like one, if we could call it, accessible bathroom for everyone in the family, but it's on the 2nd floor. So that kind of stinks, but considering this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, I wasn't too upset about it. I ended up fitting a lot more rooms in here than I thought was possible, so I'm kind of excited about it. But we're working on the living room first, and this was actually really where the struggles began. This whole home I thought came together really nicely, but I wasn't really sure what look I wanted to go for, and with so many Sims in the home, I wanted to make sure that there was adequate seating. I knew if I had let's say, I think I made it for 2 parents, 2 grandparents, 2 kids. That's already 6 Sims, and then a teenager. Like, there's 7 Sims in this household. And if there was like one more child or a pet or something, I don't know, some of these rooms might seem a little bit small, and I don't think there's enough seating for everyone in the living room, nor is there enough seating for everyone in the dining room, because you would need a lot of couches and like a lot of dining chairs and a bigger table, and I just didn't have the room for it. So I don't know, they can't all sit at the table, which is kind of a bummer, but anyway, I just wanted this living room to be accessible. That's what I was going for, because it was a bit of a cramped space for me to be able to make a bedroom for the grandparents downstairs. So I did play around with this when I play tested it. Everything was perfectly fine, but I was initially nervous about one of the end tables on one of the sides of the couches. So I get rid of one of them, and that actually ensured that my Sims were able to get around to sit on the couches and light the fireplace, and that is all I could ask for. I didn't even give them a coffee table because I did not have the room. I've been noticing more and more that, I don't know, the space that you need between a fireplace and a coffee table seems to be a lot greater now. It seems to be that you need a lot more space to light the fireplace now. And I don't know if that's just me, and I could just be making this up, but my Sims have so many routing issues trying to get to a fireplace and lighting it that I decided no coffee table this time. They also have a couple of bookcases, and here in the entryway, it was a bit difficult to decorate because it was a little skinny, but I was able to get a little console table here with just some leaning artwork, which is probably one of my favorite pieces from base game, and that came with an update, oh gosh, well over a year ago now, when we got the freelancer careers and stuff like that. We got some new desk objects and that leading piece of artwork, which I love. And then there's a mirror as well as a place to hang your coat and your hat. And then there's just a spare dining chair, because why the heck not? I do that a lot because it seems realistic. But yeah, it's a little bit of a skinny little entryway, so I just put one of the bookcases there as well. That one's actually unlocked with, I want to say it's a career unlock. So it's not going to be in the regular build and buy catalog. However, of course, if you have a base game and you download this, it will show up just fine. But this is the dining room, which I really liked. I was actually really pleased with the way in which the layout of this whole house came out. And I love this dining room. It's right off the kitchen, and then there's a door towards the back porch, which will allow your Sims to go to the backyard. I thought it was kind of nice that it wasn't, I don't know, I was kind of thinking that dining rooms, I've seen them more towards the front of homes compared to towards the back of homes, and that's just my experience. Doesn't mean that's the only way it can be, but I've kind of seen them more towards the front, so I was excited to have it kind of near the back and have it lead out to that porch, because it seemed as though it would be easy. Maybe a hot summer day, your Sims are in the dining room and they're like, you know what, let's go outside and eat outside at like the picnic table or the outside dining table, whatever I end up putting back there. And it would be easy access. That was kind of my thought. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where my brain was going. And then I end up working on the kitchen, which is a decent size. I wasn't able to get everything I kind of wanted in here. I did want a few more kitchen appliances, such as a coffee maker, or maybe like the tea magic brewer, whatever it's called. But I had to kind of settle because I have also been having some issues with the countertops. Granted, I think the last time I did, there was actually a shelf blocking a countertop. That was actually in my small tutorish home that I posted, I don't even know, a couple of weeks ago, potentially. I'm pre-recording, so the timeline's always going to be a little off. But in that build, I did have an issue with the counter, and I think it was actually because of a shelf, and someone brought that to my attention as well in the comments, so thank you. I'm sure that was it. But I wanted to make sure that there were at least 2 open counter spaces here, and the reason I decided on 2 is because I wanted one full counter space and then one of the corner ones to see which ones my sim prioritized in using to actually prepare meals. So the kitchen fully works, but I was just hesitant about decorating every single surface. And that one full surface is actually on that back wall near the microwave. And then I also merged a bookcase into the countertop to make it look as though there were these built-in shelves for some cookbooks and stuff, which I thought was kind of a creative idea. I'm trying to diversify base game even more every time I do a base game only build, and that was kind of one way to do that. And here we have a little hallway, I would call it, and there's an archway that leads diagonally to the dining room and the archway from the living room, but then that door to the left leads you into this bedroom, which is the grandparents' bedroom. And I really liked their bedroom. It wasn't really heavily decorated, but they have everything that they need. Of course, a double bed, a dresser, give them a mirror. There's a couple of pieces of artwork, I think a couple of decorative plants, because what else am I going to put in here? And I think I end up giving them the same rug that we have in the living room, but I do change up the swatch a little bit. That was another thing I tried to do, which seems really small, but I tried not to use the same rug in every single room of the house. I tried to use different like runner rugs or different area rugs, different rugs in the bedrooms. I just wanted it to look not as put together, if that makes sense and if that translates well, because I know that a lot of the wood swatches are different too. So for example, in the grandparents' bedroom here, they have kind of this more gray wood, whereas it's the cream wood throughout with all the doors and archways. But then there's a mix of like really dark wood tones as well. I just tried to mix it up and make it look a little bit more realistic. And I honestly just wanted the home to look lived in and nicely decorated. That's the main goal. But this is the grandparents' bathroom that is technically off of their bedroom, but this is the bathroom that your Sims may prioritize if they are downstairs and have to use the restroom. So kind of a bummer, but then we move on to the second floor, where again there are 3 more bedrooms and 2 more bathrooms, which I was thrilled with. I genuinely didn't think I was going to be able to fit that much. I didn't think there was that much space here, so I'm really happy with that. I also was unsure if the bathrooms were going to work the way I wanted them to. And I say that because if you haven't noticed, the one downstairs is longer than I typically make my bathrooms. And then there's another one upstairs that's basically the same size. The last bathroom, though, is my normal size bathroom, but the window placement is what kind of threw me off with some of these rooms. So if you look on, particularly on this side of the build here, so we're kind of at the landing space right now, but if you were to just like tilt the camera and look on that side of the home with the smokestack there, the windows look so weird to me. It still drives me insane. It's driving me nuts thinking about it now, but it was the only way to make this floor plan work the way I wanted it to. And I'm kind of trying to pull back a little bit and getting so caught up as to where the windows are placed on the exterior of a build, because there is only so much you can do. And if you're looking at homes in real life, there are windows placed all over the dang place. Like, they are not in this symmetrical, I don't know, layout across the entire building. Maybe in the front because of that curb appeal, you know what I mean? But anyway, I've tried not to focus so much on window placement, but we are working on the parents' bedroom right now. I was thinking that one of them worked in the journalism career or business. I'm not sure. I think there's a journalism track off the business career, if my memory is serving me correctly, or it could be the writing career. I can't remember because I don't play with those careers very often, but maybe one of them is in the journalism career and then the other is maybe in the astronaut career or something. I didn't make like a science lab or anything, but there is a few pictures of like the galaxy, the Milky Way, and stars and stuff like that. Or one of them is really into music, because the teenage son is really into music. It's something that he really wants to do when he gets older, and he plays guitar, and he just is fascinated with all different genres. And I think maybe he picked it up from one of the parents, because they do have a lot of artwork that pertains to music. I really, really, really wish we had a saxophone in The Sims 4. I know this might be a very weird desire because so many people want bands, which I would love bands. Like, I would love to have that functionality that we had. I want to say it was from The Sims 3 and maybe The Sims 2. I can't remember, but I know that at least in The Sims 3, if my memory served me correctly, we had the ability to not only play piano and or the keyboard as well as guitar and drums. And then what you could do is you could actually go ahead and have 3 separate Sims team up, and they would each play an instrument and it would actually all sync up, so you actually had the functionality of bands. I would love that. So anyway, I would really like a saxophone in game, and I was thinking that one of the parents is a very successful saxophone player, which I thought was kind of a unique idea. There was really no way for me to show that in the build because we obviously don't have that instrument, but we do have some artwork pertaining to it. So that's kind of my thought, but I've talked through almost the entirety of the girls' room here. So I think that they have 2 twin girls who are child Sims, and their room is just very bright and happy and whimsical, and I really liked it. I had a little bit of trouble initially kind of situating where the beds and all the other furniture was going to go. And I wanted them to have some activities. So there is the desk as well as the creativity table. Now, I just realized I didn't play test the Sims' ability to sit down at that desk with the creativity table right there. So it might be a bit of an issue. And if it is, I do apologize. You might just have to move the creativity table elsewhere. I'm not sure, but I just really like their room. I kind of went with this, I don't know if it's really a theme, but I used those cloud wall decorations over their bed as well as the air balloons, the hot air balloons, and then I used those shelves that look like clouds too to really just tie into that whimsical feel that I wanted this room to have. And I just think it's really nicely decorated. I was actually really pleased with how it came out. And I liked the colors too, because it wasn't just like this pink room. It's like pink and blue and teal, and it just seemed really, really happy. And then this is the teenage boys room, which I go very stereotypical here, and I kind of want to break the mold a bit. So I have to think of different ideas, especially with using base game for like a teenage boys room. But he is very much into music, so I did give him that bed with the swatch of the guitars on the comforter. He also has his own desk with a laptop, because I think that he uses a laptop probably more than his sisters do. And again, there are some pieces of artwork here that pertain to music. And though he plays guitar, maybe he also plays trumpet. I'm trying to think of the other actual, what am I trying to say? The other actual instruments, I forgot the word. The other instruments that are in some of these pieces of artwork. But I also gave him a few accent walls. He has like these white brick accent walls in his room. I didn't put any artwork on this wall over the bed. And it felt really, really weird to do that. It feels like an empty space, but I thought since it was not a wallpaper like the rest of the room, it kind of popped a little bit. I don't know if you guys are going to like it. I liked it, but I don't know. It's just a little bit different than I might typically decorate a room. Maybe I'm just unsure. I'm clearly just maybe not confident with that. It's okay. But now we're working on the backyard, and it is fenced in, which is something I typically do, especially with base game homes, is I give them a fenced in backyard. I just feel as though it's more realistic than a fenced in front yard with activities. I haven't seen many homes with the activities that the family might partake in, like the monkey bars or grill and stuff in the front yard. It's usually the backyard for some privacy. So I did end up giving them an outdoor dining table as well as a grill. There's the monkey bar set, because any house that has kids will likely have the monkey bar set if I'm using only base game, because it's the only activity they get. There's also the few gardening pots that are in the front yard. There aren't any in the backyard, but I do give them 2 apple trees that they can harvest. I thought that was kind of nice, a little bit of a homey touch to be like, yeah, we bought the house and there's 2 apple trees in the backyard, which means every fall we get fresh apples for applesauce and stuff, which clearly my New Englander is showing, because that's what I think of. But that is almost pretty much it for the build. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
The longer I've waited, the more that I've tried. All the years that I've wasted trying to find it. All that I go through for my peace of mind. Let it all go out the window. No smoke in my eyes. I can hear the wind chiming. It's always been you in the back of my mind. Early blue morning, when everything's cold, I see you running, all covered in gold. There's nothing else that eases my soul. I let it all go out the window. No smoke in my eyes. I can hear the wind chime. try to be seen. Then there's a feeling, you know what I mean. I let it all go out the window.